good evening to all my listeners. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Self Love Witch podcast. It is your host, Kim. Happy New Year, you guys. Listen, we made it. We made it, okay? 2023 was a year of really showing people their power, their lack of power. But I think all in all, it kind of showed people the things that they were lacking, the places that they needed work. I feel like 2023 was a mirror kind of year. I feel like it really was showing people their life, showing people their character, showing people the masks that were just constantly falling off all year. Okay, you guys? And I just want to say we made it. We made it. Thank God for being able to come to 2024. You know, when 12 a.m. hit and I heard all the fireworks, I low-key broke down. You know, I didn't ugly cry, but I was just thinking about, wow, 2023 was such a year of, oh my God, 2023 was a year, y'all, okay? I don't even want to say it was bad. I just feel like 2023 was a year that really pulled at people's insides and just showed them what they were. And it wasn't always pleasant. It wasn't always exciting. And then I also feel like the relationships, the friendships, the situations, the experiences, you know, they reflected who I was and where I was at the time of my life. And it was really, you know, mind-boggling a little bit. But nevertheless, I'm so grateful. I ended the year on such a beautiful note with friends. I ended with community. We had a nice dinner. We spoke life into each other. We spoke life over our new year. So I went into the new year grateful, feeling blessed, feeling prosperous, feeling ready. You know what I mean? I really hope that all of you also felt that way. But nevertheless, I don't want to ramble on. I just wanted to do a quick snippet today because I really want to talk about, with this new year coming about and us just wanting to make changes in our lives, I wanted to talk about the importance of saying no. Matter of fact, the art of saying no. And how that inevitably means saying yes to things that you want in your life. You know, within this journey of just wanting better for yourself, wanting to elevate, learning yourself, relearning yourself, deprogramming certain mindsets, etc., I've learned a huge part of that has to do with discipline, self-discipline, but also being able to say no and understand your reason as to why you're saying no. And to always make sure that when you're saying no, that means you're saying yes to what you do want. You know, right? So I feel like I had to do a lot of releasing in 2023. A lot of releasing. It was consistent. It was consecutive. It was it was out of my control, to be quite honest, right? So I really feel like being in that position where I had to learn to detach from things, I had to learn to completely reprogram my subconscious. I had to learn to completely change the way I spoke about myself, my situation. I had to learn how to date differently. I had to learn how to make friends differently. I had to learn how to create a better set of standards for myself, etc., etc. All of that took a lot of saying no. And even if you guys tuned into my previous episode where I talked about intentional solitude, I also touched on celibacy and just being super selective, and also even going through time periods where you're just saying no to just people, just people around you, or just no to certain kinds of relationships because you're knowing what you're saying yes to, right? So for me, I realized me saying no to, for instance, engaging with someone romantically or intimately, it's because I was saying yes to the time period that I needed for myself, to look within myself. You know, in my opinion, for me personally, when I am connecting with someone, I'm not a surface level person. I like to dig deep. I like to have a soulful connection. So honestly, that requires me to be available for that. And then also it requires me to be cleared of other energies and other things that I may be needing to give my attention to. And when it comes to myself, I've learned that pouring into myself and prioritizing myself is the best thing that I can always do. And it's not a bad thing to do so, because when you're saying yes to yourself, you are essentially opening up the door to what also wants to pour into you. Hence, that could be, your divine partner. Hence, that could be the right community for you. Hence, that could be your tribe. That could be opportunities, et cetera, right? So I had to realize, the art of saying no, it's a whole science and equation behind it, right? Me saying no means that I'm saying yes to something. So with me being intentionally in solitude, it was me saying no to just situations or people or places and things that I just feel like weren't intentional. It had to make sense. I had to make sure I wasn't just going out doing things just to do it, which is fine. We're free. You can do whatever you want. However, I really wanted that time period to be something that wherever I was flowing, it was people, places, and spaces that I was genuinely being poured back into, and where I felt that I was seen, heard, valued. And, I don't think we kind of realize the ways that we kind of don't pay attention to how often we do put ourselves in spaces where we literally have no type of nutrition. We don't, nothing nurtures our soul in these situations with these people, with these places. You know what I'm saying? So I had to really sit and evaluate just my life and the things I was doing and the people I was engaging with, the types of people that I was dating, the kind of connections that I was forming. And that year, 2023, really helped me learn more about myself. And through that solitude, I really learned a lot about myself. But it took a lot of saying no, right? It took a lot of no's. And when you say no, I want to be real with you guys. It's not going to feel good all the time. It's not going to feel good. When you say no, you're going to feel like you're literally depleting yourself of, whatever feeling you were searching for, or whatever the case may be. But when you really sit and think about it, if you know that you're saying no to something that inevitably when you think about it and it's something you've done before and it's something that you've been there, done that, and you're finally saying no to it, you know how you feel after it. You know how you feel just having to deal with the after effects of that said situation, that said person, that said whatever. You know what I'm saying? And, also just saying no to habits and no to just certain routines, switching up things. Saying no, it's also saying yes. And I think it really helps to not focus on the no per se, but to focus on what you're saying yes to. No is not a bad word. We really need to change the narrative on no. Not only does it show that someone has boundaries, not only does it show that someone takes the time to think and doesn't just agree to everything, it shows that you are intentional with your energy, intentional with your time, intentional with your presence, intentional with your attention, intentional with your focus. And I feel like you really do get rewarded with that. I feel like with me being intentional, with really saying no to a lot of things within the past few months, I feel like it really has opened up a new perception of life, because I feel like saying no and making sure that me saying no is always saying yes to myself, it inevitably creates this domino effect where I don't have to say no as often, because literally cutting off and just declining things always kind of just inevitably makes room for things that you want to say yes to. You know, I hope you guys are following me when I say that. I've been observing that it really has been happening. It's really amazing, quite honestly. It's really amazing. And I really wanted to sit and express that with you guys because it has been eye-opening. It's been truly eye-opening. And not only has it been eye-opening, it's been extremely affirming. Extremely affirming because I was talking with a friend of mine. We were talking about confidence and just self-confidence. And talking about, you know, we go through moments in life that can sometimes feel like a jab at our confidence. And we both were just like, well, you know what? Honestly, the only real way to develop self-confidence, and this is meaning like confidence outside of people's perceptions of you, people's opinions of you, people's people's affirmations towards you. You know, we were sitting down, we were talking, we were like, honestly, the only way you really gain real self-confidence is when you actually push yourself out of your comfort zone and you prove things to yourself, by yourself, with yourself, you know. And honestly, that's really true. There's no lie to it, because I was thinking, I was like, you know, the things that have really developed my confidence, the things that have really instilled my idea of my self-worth and my idea of what I deserve, they were all moments of me really looking within myself and really defining, who I am and defining what I deserve. But that came through taking the time to really learn myself and kind of prove to myself, you know, if I feel I deserve this, if I feel like this is not something I should be partaking in, I have to show myself that I have the faith, number one, to let something go that I know doesn't serve me. You have to kind of prove to yourself that you have the power to not only release and say no to something that doesn't feel good to you or feels like it's beneath you, but you also have to show yourself and prove to yourself that you have the ability to sit and be uncomfortable in that time period where you have to wait, or you have to be patient and be faithful that what you deserve is coming to you, and that you're not going to see the fruit as soon as you plant the seed. That faith is done by trusting yourself to, one, make the decision, but to also trust yourself in the waiting process. It's all a self-proven kind of process. That's where your self-confidence grows, when you prove things to yourself, right? So I always try to say, like, don't fear saying no, and don't fear the discomfort that comes with that period where your no's feel like absolute no's, even though you know they're yeses to yourself, but they can feel like absolute no's, and they don't always feel great. You know, you feel like you could be missing out. You could feel like you are, you can feel lonely, etc. Whatever the case may be, you can feel, you know, you can start questioning yourself, doubting yourself, but you have to understand, always kind of circle back to the fact that you made this decision to not only show yourself that you can choose yourself, but to also trust in divine timing and trust that you can make the best decisions for your future self. Because when you get to that point, when you can make the hard decisions presently for your future self, I feel like that is when you really, really reach that pinnacle point of just being able to have clear vision. Because not only are you able to see present time, you're able to look forward, you're able to look back in retrospect and use your wisdom. Getting to that point, I feel like, is a point where a lot of us should strive to be, because it helps us see things clearly. You should be able to see all aspects of something I feel like, to fully make a decision. You know, you can't always be present-minded when it comes to living life. But when it comes to making decisions, that you know will impact your life, it's important to look back on your past, take up the lessons, look at your present life, and look at where you are. Will it benefit the future you, and look forward? Because those are important things to consider, especially when it comes to dating, especially when it comes to friendships, especially when it comes to career decisions, when it comes to just sharing your energy, period, when it comes to what you're going to pour your energy and time and focus into. And I don't know if that's more so an adult thing, because I feel like now I'm so intentional with a lot of things that I think about that in regards to a lot of things, actually. Very, very selective with who I'm around. Very, very selective with who I tell my information or my life to. Very energetically aware. And it's a nice place to be once you kind of get past that paranoia spot, because you can get into a paranoia spot where you just don't trust anybody. But you work through that because, again, you prove to yourself that you can trust yourself by trusting your intuition, by seeing the effects of trusting your intuition, by seeing the effects of not trusting your intuition, et cetera, et cetera. It's all about that process of saying no teaches you to have a better trust in relationship with yourself and with your intuition as well, which I feel like inevitably helps us live lives of harmony, because we're not going against ourselves so much. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of suffering and confusion comes from us going against ourselves and not listening to ourselves. Because honestly, truly, I feel like we're all here to help guide each other in this life. However, I do feel like we're all born with this natural innate wisdom to be able to tap in and kind of understand and realize when something is for us versus when something is not, and just trust in that inner voice, that inner divine voice given to all of us upon birth, And, being okay with saying no. If you have people-pleasing tendencies, it can be hard at first. It can be very hard, especially someone like me. When people meet me, they think, wow, you've always had this voice. Granted, I've always been an outspoken child, outspoken teenager, outspoken adult. However, I've definitely had to go through being okay with being labeled as the villain, because I express my opinion, because I try to stand for what's right, because I honor my boundaries, and because I advocate for them fiercely, and because I also try to empower other people to advocate for that fiercely. It's not roses and peaches and chocolate all the time, I don't want to make that very clear. The self-love journey is not a journey of roses and daisies all the time. Just like I talk about in the Soft Girl Era series, it's not an era of just looking pretty and being soft. This whole journey of self-love and giving yourself what you deserve and trusting yourself, it comes with you having to be fiercely protective of yourself and fiercely protective of all that you have internalized, all of your lessons, all of your wisdom, all of your energy that you have harnessed, and all the skills that you work to hone. You know what I mean? You have to be protective of this. You have to be protective and fiercely stand on business. And standing on business don't always feel good. Sometimes standing on business feels absolutely excellent. It feels like, yes, finally, breath of fresh air. This is what I needed. Breath of fresh air. Other times you're going to feel like you're literally dying. You're going to feel like you're having a whole death of self, especially if you have experience being a people pleaser. Or if you care what people think, and getting to that point to not care what people think begins with you just doing it, right? You have to just be like, no, I'm saying no to you. I'm saying yes to me. You're gonna, you may have to deal with things like I did, which was being okay with being a villain, being okay with being misunderstood, being okay with people legit seeing you as mean, or seeing you as so-called stuck up, or seeing you as pretentious, so to say, Always understand people's perception of you is really none of your business. It truly is. It's really not your business. It's important to care how you come off to people when it matters. When you're advocating for yourself, I feel like as long as you communicate that in a healthy manner and it's respectful to people who deserve that, you know what I mean? You can't really control or be too concerned with how they perceive your truth. My truth is not something that I have to truly care about how someone is receiving it, because it's mine. It's not yours. It's not theirs. And my truth and me advocating for myself and me setting fierce boundaries to create a safe space for myself to exist authentically and safely within my own presence. That's something that is a God-given right, and I don't have to care about how it comes off to you. You know what I mean? Some things we do have to learn to be completely unapologetic about, because it's a God-given right. You know, that wasn't something you had to earn. That was something that just is. But because society teaches us, you know, especially as women, you know, we're taught, always be polite. Always to the down. You always want people to see, you know, you don't want people to see you as headstrong. You don't want people to see you as so on, yada, yada, yada. I am not for that. I am all for finding your voice, expressing it boldly, loudly, being true to yourself, being authentic within yourself. We cannot depend on others to teach us how to live. We cannot depend on others to teach us what standards to set. We have to just go within ourselves and figure out what works for us. What do we want? What do we know we deserve? And how are we aiding that or hindering that? And, you know, learning what to say no to and learning what to say yes to. I feel like that really just sets the tone for us. And the more we just practice saying no to things, especially things we know just deserve to be said no to. And being okay with that waiting period or that limbo type of feeling, or that, you know, that time where you're just like, wow, I'm really going to have to sit here and just sit with these feelings, or I'm going to have to sit here and really face certain things. Be okay with that. I promise you, be okay with that, because honestly, in that time period, that's when you really reach such a revelation of self, such a revelation of your situation, when you stop running, you know, and when you're not afraid to say no, you know, because no is so powerful. Not only does it stop something in its tracks, it lets people know that you honor yourself, you honor your time, you honor your energy, and you honor how you're feeling, and you honor what you need for yourself. And inevitably that teaches people how to treat you, which is very important. If you haven't tuned into my episode where I talked about embodying the treatment you deserve, I'll talk a little bit about that. You know, you teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. People are always paying attention. Whether they tell you or not, people are always watching. People are watching how you treat yourself. People are watching how you carry yourself. People are watching what you accept, what you don't accept. People are watching how you respond to disrespect, how you respond to pettiness. People are watching to see exactly how they can treat you. You know what I mean? They're always watching. So I always say it's very important to be authentically you, and to always advocate for yourself and not be afraid of how people will receive you. I feel like it's more important to be true to yourself and respected versus being necessarily liked by everyone for who you're not. And even not being liked for who you are, you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, you know, and that's just something you have to accept as well. You know, me as a Black woman who is very much so a magical being, and I'm very bold in my expression. I come across a lot of people who don't know how to take me. I come across a lot of people that honestly I rub wrong, and it doesn't mean that my way of existing is wrong. It just means those are not my people. But I'm also an accountable person to where I know, okay, I wasn't rude to this person. I wasn't a mean person. It's just that my existence, my aura, my energy, how I carry myself doesn't sit well with their spirit. Doesn't necessarily mean that they have an insecurity, because sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you guys are just energetically just not aligned, and that's completely fine. There are so many people in this world that we're just not going to bond with. That's completely fine. You are going to come across people who are intimidated, who may be insecure, who may feel intimidated by your truth, by how you authentically exist. Like I said, that's not your business. People's perception of you is not your business. And just, know how to pay attention to that. Don't get enwrapped in how people perceive you too much. Because honestly, I promise you, people are within their own inner realities where they are tormented by how they feel about themselves, and they will project that for the rest of their lives if they can go unnoticed. So know who you are, and by knowing who you are is by trusting yourself, proving things to yourself for yourself. Take time for yourself. I always advocate for that. Take time to just sit and reflect. Just have a intentional solitude period. I've been taking that for the past almost 3 months, and honestly, it's been so beautiful and so affirming in so many different ways. I keep saying eye-opening because it really is. I don't even feel like I'm the same person I was 3 months ago. I feel so different. I feel so awakened because I've sat with myself. And I didn't run from anything. I sat there and I felt everything, and I examined myself, and I just really was like, I really want to test myself. I really want to see what you're really about. I want to see where your head is. I want to see exactly what you like and who you are, aside from all this outside influence and outside of all this other stuff, And it was beautiful. It's been a beautiful process. It still is a beautiful process, But it took a lot of saying no. It took a lot of saying no to me wanting to distract myself. It took a lot of me saying no, wanting to run away from the shadow work. And I always say, during that intentional periods that you have in your life, diving into your rituals during that time period where you're actively releasing that control. My God, y'all. The clarity, the power, the magic that you feel that's so easily visible is crazy. It's crazy. I think I'm going to create a whole nother episode with that, because that alone, the importance of rituals just period when you're in any type of transitional period in your life is completely unmatched. It's not talked about enough, But I want to say, keep saying yes to you. Keep saying yes to your desires. Keep saying yes to your journey. Keep saying yes to your commitment to yourself. Keep saying yes to what brings you peace and bliss and joy. And keep saying no to things that make you question yourself. Keep saying no to things that make you feel like you are not enough. Keep saying no to things that make you feel like you are having to prove yourself, or like you are not worthy, or things that make you feel completely out of your element. And I don't mean in a way where you're out of your comfort zone to grow. I mean, just say no to things, people, and places that you just know aren't an energetic match for you. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should, And that has been one of the main things that have been ruminating in my mind. Not only that, but also Erykah Badu, in one of her songs, she says, if it's all in the air, then it's all on your mind. And that's been a prominent quote that's just been ruminating in my head as well, because it's true. Your thoughts reflect everything that is in your reality. And it really is that simple. That's why saying no to things is not just saying no. It's literally you finding the power every day to maintain and be in your power to create your reality every single day. You know, because you don't have to say yes to everything that's presented to you. You can simply say no. You know, so again, Happy New Year. Keep saying yes to you. This is the year of yes. It's an 8 year. I feel like it's all about abundance. It's all about the energy you put out coming back to you. So keep saying yes to the energies that you want brought back to you. You know what I'm saying? And just keep embodying that. Keep being beautiful. Keep being magical. Keep being beautiful human beings. And keep striving for inner peace. If you haven't found it or you're looking for it, you know, I want to send out love right now, because I know this time of the year can be difficult for a few people. You know, be proud of yourself. Be patient with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. You have made it. 2023 is gone. 2024 is a new plate, a fresh slate for new beginnings, new opportunities, new growth, expansion, love, community, etc. Whatever you want to, you know, come into fruition, just make sure you plant that seed, you know, and stay hopeful, stay optimistic, stay present, and just keep believing in yourself, and keep believing that the genuine energy that you put out will always come back to you, you know, because it does. It really does. It really does. It truly does. And if you haven't seen your fruit come back from your seeds yet, understand everything goes through seasons. And no season is bad necessarily. They just have different purposes. And you just have to figure out what purpose this season of your life is for, you know? Some seasons are for rest. Some seasons are for building. Some seasons are for reflecting. Some seasons are for execution. Honor where you are. Sit down and think about where you are, and just honor that space. You know what I mean? But yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in. And I want to say have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful evening. And don't be afraid to reach out at the Self Love Witch Podcast on Instagram. And thank you so much for tuning in. As always, it's always a pleasure creating episodes and just speaking and connecting with you guys. I speak to some of you guys, and it's just like it's always so much love, and I really enjoy you guys. So thank you once again, and peace and blessings. Till next time. Peace.